Suppose that all the factories used to concoct chemicals to abuse our nasal sensing right to choose whom to kiss and whom to miss. In short, olfactory obfuscation and perspiration annihilation were turned instead to making bread, or hotels for breakfastings and bed. For substances from oils ooze can harm from head down to our shoes. Fake perfumes our brains to spin, deodorant to fake out men, as well as women's sense to trick. Might you not get the wrong Tom Dick? Better sweat and stink on high. Showers have we standing by, and fragrance message which remains will find its way to the right brains. Smell his smell, and then you'll know if he's just the wrong so-and-so, not suited to your special vibe. Let him some other scent imbibe. Plenty more are in the tribe. I've heard of this medieval charm. Girl rubs cut apple under arm, and then presents it to her lover. And no, he does not run for cover, but sniffs it in a lonely night. If your own man's not too uptight, borrow his t-shirt slightly worn. When he's away and you're lovelorn, it'll fill your nostril backs, tilt up your head with fragrant facts. And if you do not like the reek, some other dude you'd better seek. Indeed, if you go slathering and methyl paraben gathering, propyl paraben lathering, butyl paraben on the precious Ming treasure vase of your curved form, I have heard it can sneak and worm from your armpit to your breast, and there, dear women, come to rest, wreaking havoc silently. Must I explain more fluently? Careful what you apply right here, to avoid that which women fear. Better smells, a wisp or strong, than illness painful and too long, and then the dirging graveyard song. The French stink well, I have remarked, although their tendency to park strong perfumes right on top of this a bewilderment pervading is. They make much soap, but use much less than other countries in the West. They stink of sex, for often they postprandial desserts have gave. 'Tis better than a stinking grave. Your kitty cat has smell sense more, 2,000 times your own sad store. And kitty cat, with fluid motion, will duck away from your hand lotion. Your Fido can sense apprehend 5,000 times your nasal ken. Don't you feel poor? If you say, "Ooh, I'll never do this thing which might pong worse than poo," remember you have been conditioned to this shame, told your body is to blame for everything from Adam's crash to rehashed stash of sin's backlash. And why not thrash you with a lash? For if 'twas good for flesh to mash, told that dancing is a foul, lascivious way for lust to prowl, told that all below your waist must be avoided to taste heavenly accoutrements, they'll pose a rose, but no smells dense, nor musk nor tusk allowed to sense, just maybe sweet peas on the fence. This is in truth an old mistake, misunderstood for sacred sake, clumsy interpreting our make, hiding from us how to wake to our bod and bliss entire. How lyrical the rising fire, cooling as it upward goes, but it starts inside our toes. Starts with red magenta flows, rises as the rainbow goes, each stage holy as the rest. Thrill at each new topic's test, as colors unfold, sensate, fest, and each one seems to be the best. Smells accompany all these levels of the rainbow's breeze. Find your own way with your nose. Don't buy the Procter & Gamble prose. Laughing. Suppose that people laugh a lot, 'cause they feel good. It's really not such a stretch to fancy this. Laughter's life giving us a kiss. And as we shout, our mouth is wide, so much it shakes us side to side. We laugh so hard we start to roar, enough to shake the wooden floor. I can hear it just right now. It's amazing. You know how laughter is so darned infectious. Who gives a damn if it sounds reckless? Suppose the laughter did ring out, with a chortle and a shout, from every house and every mouth, everywhere from north to south, often as you'd like to hear, every day and all the year. For laughter makes the world go round, brakes are put on by a frown. Then, too, your good system immune will function at its highest tune. So laugh, my brethren, laugh a lot. Irreverence is what we fought all those revolutions for. This revolution has no war. Just place your hands upon your tum. Chuckle till you come undone. Bend and holler, howl and wheeze. Put your hands upon your knees. Then fall against the nearest chair. Collapse into it. Laugh from there. And when the laughter's finally done, close your eyes and feel the sun, even if it's late at night. And after this, you'll need to squeeze someone else from neck to knees to transfer all the juicy vibes and make both bellies truly wise. This isn't just a whim, my dears. I have been this place myself, or I'd not sing about it here. And I'll tell you something else. If we meet our inner self, mirth will be our natural way. I tell you, for I've lived that way, and I the thing so true can say, for I have really lived that way. And yes, we can laugh out by ourself while clutching to the mantel shelf. We're here with rippling tummy too, throwing back our head to hoot, all alone. It is all right if makeup smears and we're a sight. Who cares? Laugh loud, laugh long, with all our might. Fun. The true meaning of fun is that your body ripples like a cat as the life thrill through it pours. That is what life's really for. Forget sad old religion's creed, that fun is mere frivolity. Fun is when your cells align as they were meant with their design. It is a kind of music playing when every cell in you is saying, yes, I like it, it's for me. That's health, not triviality. Having kids. Suppose that if we wanted kids, we had to study how to give the little critters all they need of love and care, and how not to breed a bunch of crazy mixed-up kids. Suppose we studied children's greed and how they could be little monsters, so we could think, should I have a kid and thus give up my peace each time I try to sleep or sup? Then whoever's licensed to proceed, each orchestrates just how the seed is planted in a sacred hour, deliberate as the rarest flower. A ceremony silent and calm, candles light the invite's psalm. Speak your longing to the ones who like to know your homework's done, inviting a soul worthy to come to this earthly love kingdom. Then the small, unique, and blessed, snotty-nosed, confiding pest will be the child of the village, ranging to each house to pillage oatmeal cookies, nuts, and juice, whatever you've got lying loose. Watch out for the certain spillage. For the little angel pests will always do their best to best our resources and our nerves. That's just how they prove their verve. And teenagers around the world will always try to bring a curl to their elders' thinning hair. For this, I'm sure, no cure is there. But if they're raised with love and trust, they will find their way. They must do their thing and be themselves. Into hormonic surges delve. They will finally stagger away from the hormones' rondelay and take their place upon the space we've readied with our art or artless will, and make it better still. Suppose a person did not feel to have a child, this round on the wheel. Let people note with deep respect the choice, for that one is correct. For children a commitment be, from now until eternity, and from your navel there will form cords to tie you to that warm, infuriating, willful soul, every day taking their toll. And thus your life force wavers out, instead of cupping you about, with all your energy intact, to climb your mountain and to act upon your need for inner search, supposing that that is your urge. Parenthood is not for all, and anyway the world has many people striving for a penny. Enough, I say, of careless birth, overpopulating earth. Tantra. Suppose that sex becomes a bore and we just want to turn and snore. There are ways we can say, wow, and wise folks who can show us how. I am not saying up the heat, wear negligees and scorch the sheets, but rather how to open up our heart and soul, slowly, not abrupt, and touch with measured cadence fine the bigger spaces, hers and thine. As we sway and then lie down, plug in the sockets, circuits round, and share our hearts with words so true. Does this not sound nice to you? There are meditations for 100 years of loving more, and loving in this ancient way does not wear out the loving play, nor sap you of your energy. Ready to experiment and see? Death. Suppose that if a loved one dies, we don't wear black and frown and sigh, but we have a party, not to mourn, for it's as if they're getting born from this body to we don't know where, into the mystery of the air. We dance and shout and cry and laugh, with lots of music being played, to see them joyously on their way, and let them be burnt up, you see. So if they chance to look back down, they'll know they are not still around, stuck underground, but free. Then we, the wishers well, can go back home to our bungalow, and wash our bodies and our hair, and all the clothing we wore there, and all is loosed unto the sky. Our love, their love, can upwards fly. Then processing our loss will be a long, soft, personal inquiry, taking all the time it needs. If the goodbye's good, it could come with ease. And of course there is some help for anyone who needs to gulp and yelp into a shoulder broad and calm. Ah, that sounds good, like spirit balm. Dynamic meditation. Suppose, whenever your mind's a crowd, and your tummy's churning very loud and won't shut up, and then, not yet, and now, a bill comes from the vet. $100.33 just to clean your kitty's teeth, and the kitty isn't grateful, but cringes, hisses, growls so hateful, she has to be anesthetized. That is why the fee's so high, and the receptionist implies that your kitty should leave home, escape you, such a selfish crone. Or maybe your old dad-in-law got chicken stuck inside his craw, and blamed you for your cooking skills, and his wife gave looks that kill, as bad as the vet's so heavy bills. Or maybe the dude that you embrace liked much another woman's face, and followed her home in his car, thus leaving on your heart a scar. Then go alone, unplug the phone, and sort out the entire situation by doing dynamic meditation. I will explain this washing brain. It's a simple, difficult invitation. You breathe a lot, as if you're fraught, and then cathart your limbs, your heart, your churning tummy all away by entering your inner fray. All that tummy-churning worry you can eject in a flurry, noisy as you might wish. Feels so good to growl and hiss, feels so good to emulate animals when they're in hate, feels so good to let your guts slobber like a caveman's mutts, roar out frustration. Finally, a barbarian it's so good to be. Don't be afraid. Your mind will say, "Oh my God, you'll be like this every day." But it's not so. You will be less likely to with folks regress. Try this too. Just you become all the characters in the dumb, messy drama you are in. One by one, the vet, the cat, and then your mum. For mums and dads are always worth, and others nearer to your birth, exploring as your depths you plumb. Become the slightest little ripple of things your inner pond does stipple. Become, and thus you do release, and see as well, for we are these, and yet we aren't. We are what's beyond the things which ruffle up our pond. For knowing what was in your layers releases those more noxious airs. And for reasons which I cannot say, you'll find you will laugh more today. Next, in this meditation, you jump upon your heels. Push energy down until it feels as if it's jumping up again, all by itself from out the pen formed by jumping pelvic bones. Shout, "Hoo!" again and then again. Hoo, hoo, hoo. This will loosen and process energy's up-moved egress. Keep your arms above your pate and watch the stuff evaporate. Next, a voice will shout, "Stop!" Then, stop, just as you are. Don't drop your arms if they are sticking up. Just stop and be and watch. Own up if you desire so to move, but do not do it. Keep your groove and be, while silence is so loud. Thus and then, the usual crowd of mind stuffs can arise and go out your crown like audience after a show. Then at last, we dance in celebration. This is dynamic meditation. It'll make you feel so sparkly real, you will forget just how the vet could make you say things you regret. And if you want the CD with the proper tune, you can order it. It should come soon. There are more meditations good, so many ways to loose the wood we've had positioned on our eyes. We are in for a surprise. Intelligence comes home, you see, by looking at this thing called me, and interfacing with its past until we let this go at last, and all the country we've embraced vibrates its happiness in our face, like kitties stroked in friendly fashion. Emptier than you imagine, emptiness wins the inner beauty pageant. Cleaning. Now here's a subject for you, cleaning. Do you think it is demeaning, or something just for poorish women? As activities go, a lemon demon? In the looking glass of Zen, it's good for meditating men. And friends I see all gathered here, who'd possibly rather have a beer than stoop and sweep and scrub and wipe and broom all down the cobwebs ripe. In India, my spirit womb, in the laughing live commune, cleaners got the most respect, the best seats close to master's beck, for facing up to all that dreck. Indeed, a cleaner, silent can, enjoy his, her fine elan, peering with a calm aplomb, while she wipes, he swipes with rag and palm. And as to hands, I do suggest, gloves like wet-proof rubber nests will help your skin feel much more blessed. But I doubt you will agree, cleaning could be a fun idea. Here's my next suggestion, and I've done this. Clean all in a band of people with a ghetto blaster to make it fun and make it faster. Have the choice not to clean your house always, that boring scene, every week the same abode, similar the load of grode. No, go dancing in a crew, gossip while you dust on through, music while you vacuum loud. Though in this world I do describe, someone in this merry tribe has figured out a vacuum new, which doesn't pull the arms off you, nor bang your shins, nor make such dins, nor spew dust out like diatribe. These wonder vacuums will be light. The hose appears from out of sight, in the wall, like endless snakes, put on earth for all our sakes. Go to clean, all in a crowd, zipping quick from house to house, instead of sulking as a mouse in your isolated home, trying to clean but all alone. You'll have more fun and get more done and be updated on all the latest. With rafter brooms in all the rooms, we'll maybe even whisk the moon, and all those other energies will make it easier, you see, like any group activity, supporting us like air beneath wing. That's the good co-cleaning brings. And of course you have the choice. If you don't want any noise, if you love to polish well the table left by Granny Nell, and you find it bliss to mop, and you're worried folks will drop china from Auntie Blenkinsop, then clean away and play Mozart, dusting gently tops of art framed in splendor on your wall. Nobody minds. It's all your call. For outer clean and inner clean can be linked in many ways, complex as a mosaic tray, intertangled like the lush fibers on the toilet brush, totally disposable, let's say. Windows shining out and in, body feeling strong and thin from all that exercise we'll get, getting kitchen floors all wet. Then, of course, there will be boots, brushy soled so we can scoot in the mop water's soapy suds, splashing on our oldest duds. Let's play the coasters as we go, talking sense to the floor below. This trick my mother taught to me, though with the brushes tied on, see? She read it, one reads many things, in a book called Pippi Longstocking. And, of course, life has such fun. Cleaning's not the only one. We'll tour the village each 2 weeks, with the funny fellows meek, and the cleaning cart a squeak, a raucous bunch, like gypsies all, in raggy clothes or roving, call house to house, each one his own, can visit, but not all alone. Thus the time will not be drear, bi-weekly cleaning in a year, and then you can run off to do whatever else appeals to you. But if you really can't clean a thing, not even scant dusting, putty swilling sinks, then here is what I deeply think. Hire a cleaner, pay him much as doctors, artists such, for he's an artist in your house, a doctor for the things you've loused. He's a gentleman and friend, your grubbiness to wash and mend. He will give you back your home, shining, then let you rest alone. He's midwife gentle to your peace. Don't you think his knees are keys? For he kneels upon your sword. Give him great and good reward. One thing more on cleaning's word. Kids can't do it. It's absurd, for kids and teens aren't wired yet to neatly assemble or to fret if a room's a shambly mess. Let them have their own regress, where they live in tumbled grunge, happy as a dirty sponge. We won't enter if we like to sleep in lucent order, yike. We'll let them do their thing in there and preserve our order where we can live in sweet clear space. Let them trash, that is their grace. They will grow up finely and, like their beaches clean, just sand. They will grumble finely at the very chaos they once sat in amongst with happy smiles. Let a child be a child. Sleep. Supposing that each human soul, after the day's long rock and roll, could sleep and sleep and sleep enough, at least 8 hours of the stuff, and wake all fresh and fancy-free, won't that be great for you and me? I have heard a wise man say, he does not sleep. Instead, he lay in bliss the whole long dark night through. But I am human, so are you, and finally I released my guilt at lying prone beneath the quilt, and I took my space to sleep as much as my weary body, mind, and such need to relaxedly enjoy. Suppose we all could close our face. The world would be a shiny place. Now I let Buddha be enlightened, while I have dropped all effort frightened, after decades pushing me. Finally, I just let me sleep, and turn the spiritual matter over to those who that sort of orchestrating do. Sleeping alone. Dreams are a bag of trash we wield, stepping across our sleeping field. Why would we want the trash of others, even if they are our brothers? Trash is so personal a mess, and if you're next to his confess, you'll shoulder it upon your own, which already doth creak your bone. How holy to lie clean alone, working through your crap-dense stone, as you escape or weirdly fly, or parse relatings on the sly. It's your own business if you moan, or if you sail beyond the known. It's your own problem if you snore, and toss and turn and sweat and fret to shake the blameless coverlet. Or if you wake in midnight close, and cogitate and fuss morose about bad possibilities, you suddenly can clearly see your life, which seems with fear to drift across the lens of trough and lift. And blackness spins upon the deep. Now, shh, go back to sleep. Sleep clean, and let your inner trash man sort out the garbage as best he can. No need to torture or be tortured because a marriage you have forged. Do sleep alone, although before sleep you can cuddle so. Mosquitoes. In many places on this earth, mosquitoes live. Give them wide berth. They like one's flesh to sharply insult. Bone-break fever can be the result. Yes, many places in this world harbor the little bitty curl of its proboscis on its face, and then its little stripy knees delicately up are raised. Those stripes indicative of disease. 1 of 100 of dread these carry a virus of dengue species. But watch you out, oh please, don't poison up its habitat. Just let there be 1,000,000 bats. Each bat 1,000,000 skeeters eats on his bat policeman beat. However, you will also need mosquito netting, a big share, on windows, porch, and everywhere. Any flesh at all is bare. And if the planet's warming hot, don't you think this subject is for naught in your life? Just wait and see. I hope it will not apply to thee. This brings me to the verse's shape. Mosquito nets, hung on cloth tape, are a temple, a transparent room, so light, insulating skin at night. Mozzies gather, whining loud, in a nasty hungry cloud, but they can't get us, not a one. These nets are nice. My special one is blue and thin and works so well. A chiffon, netty, pastel jail, back at home in India. Oh, let's not need one in Wichita. I will add that though I'm sure these nets are elegant as couture, it's best to net your windows well, and at your door create a cell with double nets to navigate, and leave the little beasts unslaked, hovering outside with the shoes. In India, shoes are removed for the certainty of poos, cow, dog, chicken, human, ox, tracked into your cleanly bogs. Cloth. I think I'm really saying here, I like cloth draping, front or rear, side or sleeve or overhead, bedspreads making neat the bed, sinuous the mesh of thread. I love cloth, and how I hope slaves don't weave it mope on rope. How I want this cloth to be wove by one in love and free. I love cutting cloth with shears, stroking cloth, assessing I peer at racks of things in shops or piles when people get fed up with styles and put them out for sale in yards for you to seize or disregard. Slaves. Remember all the things that slaves have made in mankind's darker days. Sugar, coal, bottles of rum, textiles woven hand and thumb by children in a dingy room, tied by chains onto the loom. Silk wove fine by Indian slaves, where the British Rajahs, knaves, broke their fingers one by one when they left their empire-dom, so the poor sad little men never could weave silk again. Cotton gathered from the field, roadbeds made by hammer-wheeled, oranges picked by Mexicans, desperate to leave their land, where their children cannot eat. You think that sugar's something sweet? Slaves have made it, sure as heck. Leaves scythe-sharp across the neck, syrup boiling many hours, while the white guy who's in power holds aloft his brutal whip. Did you know that sugar drips to filter through a mesh of bones from charnel house where ghost cows groan? And all the folks who make that shit don't love you, not a little bit. They are happy if you're sick, for they have figured how you tick, and that their snacks will still hold sway as you munch your life away. They just want your dollar bills, whether you are well or ill. And if their tons of crunchy crap wipe you finally off the map, they don't care, because your kids will eat the same stuff that you did. Not only that, of course you know that when you to the dentist go, because of all that tooth rot slow, he gets to pack his bags and flow, flying off to breezy, surfy Maui with your bucks, not you. Wowie zowie. Lifting heavy stuff. Suppose that everyone was taught how to lift a heavy lot of stones, wet clothes, or any box weighing something like an ox. Spine is straight, legs are strong, bend your knees, thigh muscles squeeze. Please, they should be the ones to take the brunt. The bottom's basis for spine's grace, which is not to bend a trace. Get some help first. Then you both lift with legs and spare, don't roast the delicate vertebrae you need to live your life at any speed. To stagger to the chiropractor, with fingers clutching at your back, waving money is such a disaster. Learn your body's limits and its feel so that you don't have to squeal, "Oh no, my back!" Please keep this misery of out of whack far away from your bod's diurnal presence or its life nocturnal. Let your spine a dancing be, straight and simple as a tree, your ticket to the heavens' door hovering above you, for the crown of your head's your crown indeed. White shower upward, awareness's steed, a fairy feather is our spine, wanting just to be in line. Vertical it shouts aloud, with its swaying light it struts proud. Let's learn to keep it calm and straight. Bend not to lift nor aggravate. Drug food. Suppose that sugar, coffee, tea, chocolate, rum, tobacco, wheeze were carefully assessed anew, not by profiteering crews, but by the scientists we quote, who measure things and wear white coats. Then, just that part of Earth's thin crust was devoted to these things as must be their percentage in our diet. Now, wait a minute, quiet. Perhaps these drugs we'll find will be just an accent, not a need. Like spices or a bow in hair, not the whole head bristled there. Not a need, no, just a taste upon a life contentment laced, full of health like welling springs. Then just a jot of bottled things to make us giddy as a bird, wooing with his ardent word, if we're already so complete. Then a small espresso neat, will be the icing on the cake, but water is for your thirst to slake. If you think I'm being rude to criticize your favorite food, look about you at the fat upholstering you where you sat, and where you stand and where you lie like pounds of pie against the sky. Look at all your doctor bills, fine detailing all your ills, though of course he has no cure for these things you must endure. Is all that drug food really worth carrying around the girth of an elephant all day? Lordy, how you pay and pay. Treats are not just Coca-Coke and cake and kicks and chemical jokes masquerading as your feed. You who puff and sweat, then bleed. This is called conditioning. You think that your land's fare is king. I tell you, cherries ripe from trees, an apple baked or banana freeze and pushed on through a juicer whirring, these can set treat meters purring. Just forget the Frito buzz, then freshly roasted corn will cause ripples of joy in your bod. Call it a nod from happy gods. Drugs. Okay, guys, here's the deal. In my experience, it's real. Meditation can unlock your juicy fat endorphin box and send you swimming with the fish who circulate in seas of bliss, and light your heart with a golden glow to rival any sunrise show, and put you straight into the arms of love's kind, tender silence warm. And better still, this cleanly scope stays and turns not into any mope. It gives you back reality, not steals it as with druggery. It's just that you have not been taught in daily life, or schools you've fought because they seemed irrelevant to the course where you were bent. There are places where you'd find an understanding of no mind, and all the space this gives to you, and all the wisdom you accrue. Looking for a buzz? I'll bet a drug's first buzz gets you all set. It can even benefit you by showing you your mind is not true glue. The second, though, is just a bore. You've been through all this stuff before, but then where to turn for something new? You think that life is closed to you, but no, it's not and never was. Let meditation be the buzz. I'm not talking of just sitting here. That won't work, I know and fear. Long, long ago it was enough when human beings were not as tough. But now you'll need to jump and shout and throw all your old rubbish out and move your body. I'll show you how. All that physiology allows. And then you sit or lie on down and listen to the soundless sound. Dancing. Dancing is the loveliest thing, the wildest, most childlike, beguiledest thing, the bestest, westest yet eastest fling. Oh, fling our arms out everywhere. Our feet know exactly where to wing. We don't need a teacher's reps unless we want to learn some steps. Then learn and learn. Let's be like jets, flying through the love-light sky with our partner turning by. Ooh, that's lovely. Ooh, that's bliss. So dance alone or dance with his arms about you, strong and slow, so you melt and want to go. Dancing almost every night. Dance mad, too, by firelight, howling, yowling at the moon. It's never, nor 'twas ever too soon to move your legs, let go your head. Spine is weaving like a thread, joining us to joy's power. When you dance, you are a flower, tiger lily, chrysanthemum. Drums are beating, pum, pum, pum. Violins skirling, folks are whirling. Now's the moment to go twirling. Now's the moment, now's the time. Total wafting, we all sublime. Total are ourselves in heat. Cool our rhythm with the beat. Ecstasy invites our feet. Ooh, let it go, oh people, all worry that you will fall. Learn your body, learn it well. Start as children in the dell, whirling so that they can spin until they drop, their faces in little bluebells waiting by. Turn up and contemplate the sky. Breathe in the beat of Earth's big heart. This sort of thing will make us smart in tuning up our body's way. Yes, yoga postures and ballet have their place to learn our limbs in consciousness of life within. Then continue dancing all your days, till you're gentle and you're old. Then still your love you can enfold. Cradle her in music's hold. This is how our limbs ignite, forget their form and be delight, flung akimbo in the night, fantastical by firelight. How good our central core does feel, by this trusting fest revealed, your love for you in dancing's wheel. Oh, people, this is my great love. Forgive me if I can't forgive. Not to dance is not to live. Forgive me, I can't understand non-dancing, feminine or man. Food. Supposing all the fast food joints, which with toxins us anoint, were in the past like cigarettes, and litter bugs and mortgage debts, and everyone could truly taste food fresh from their own nearby place, plums plummily with purple bold, lettuces with caterpillar holes, happy caterpillars eaten by voles, which in turn the wolf cubs eat as their mom-provided meat. Corn as sweet as baby teeth, beans all tender in their sheath, bread made from some fresh ground flour, eaten in its finest hour, wine from hills around our town, wine we sip as food goes down. And if you must eat something fried, well, let hard science be your guide, and the softer science too, which brings you to adore your you. Watch what we put in our veins, that thrilling labyrinth which trains like vines throughout our bod and brains. Then, like any other vice, you can eat fries once or twice in a pale blue round-eyed moon, when love is causing cells to swoon. Then chocolate truffles are a boon, just a couple, all we'll desire, for we will have the lover's fire, and can taste each particle. Besides, you don't want to farticle. And naughty food is sometimes good, just for accent, to exclaim, how rife is life with tastes to claim. Farmers' markets. If people bike and walk about, here's something they can't do without. Farmers' markets here and there, to buy an apple or a pear. In fact, most everywhere you look. For people who delight to cook, barrows heaped with golden plums, a cabbage dense for tedium, cauliflowers white as milk, zucchini missels and their ilk, royal purple aubergines, tomatoes all incarnadine, freshest beans still in the pod, lettuces still cling to sod, while carrots are the roots of God, gods of earth all rampant here, goddesses with apricot sphere, pineapples all Fabergé. What fruits shall we pick today? Parsnips humble from the ground, sweet in soups, and I have found roast them long and garlicky, with olive oil, pepper, rosemary, and a crumbled bit of salt. Serve hot or cold, none will find fault. Add more veggies to this mix, potatoes sliced, asparagus for kicks. A yummy dinner you will find, with that little bit of wine. Honey comes from nearby bees. If you like cheese, there will be cheese. Those apricots like Tibetan cheeks, peaches, kiwis, what you seek. And all just there, at the nearest square, the brown eggs warm and brought with care. This lushness does revive our taste, which had sadly gone to waste, bruised on sugar, grease defiled, visited upon each child, as alphabets of chemicals, quite as long as textbooks dull, quite as sneaky as a rat, making us balloon so fat, on incomprehensible stratagems, created not by earth, but men, with reprehensible dissecting pen. Take back your palate for yourself. Trained on a garden, not a shelf. Trained on freshest green things full, with vitamins all set to pull body's joys bolt upright, then set you dancing at full height. And we might find we do not need those past alleged feeds, grease weeds. We might just feel so satisfied, built up new with greens inside. Life will tingle in our toes, as once it died with Oreos. Trains. Supposing trains were brought on back, traversing landscapes on a track. Melancholic as is love, melancholy's the stuff of resting joy with generate seed. The heart goes deep with body's lead. Trains are romance, trains are fun, beloved of most anyone, a way to travel most sedate, where you can read and sleep in state, or sit and gaze out windows to the things which pass in front of you. Big suitcases you can take for your clothing-loving sake, and slowly you the world explore, over channel and fjord, since the train can go aboard a boat when water's there to ford. We even like train's special roar. Trains smell special, pee and fuel, when you reach the vestibule. Stations different we go through, each one interesting anew, and we're lulled and gentled too. There are rocking visits to the loo. Arrivals, alight but don't fall through. Adventure, passing at a pace very like a state of grace. Crime and punishment. Suppose a man who harmed or bugged his fellows, gave them adulterated dizzy drugs, or put someone in a grave he'd dug. You know the sort of guy, a thug. Suppose he knew from childhood that he would have to place himself in the council chamber of his friends to figure how to make amends. He'd bow himself onto his knee, confess his crime, and they'd all see what was the aching in his soul which had caused him to have stole. Examining the inner state, he can now breathe and aerate the sticky, stucco, stale, stagnate stuff, and let it loudly vibrate, calling out his needs and fears, crying man-sized liquid tears. Feeling better, he'd allow all his friends to clear his brow by hugging up on him. Here's how. And if you just can't believe any murderer or thief would actually do it this way, I have heard in certain tribes, in forests in the Indian nation, this custom, it is still alive. A murderer will walk for days to surrender at the station. There'd be no guns. No, not one, not anywhere, not here nor there. For guns have just one purpose bare, to put a hole here in your hair, to kill that tall-eared rabbit there, to wreck a deer or blast a bear. Guns want only to destroy, nothing more is their employ. Death will eat us soon enough. No need to try and act so tough, scratching another before his time. So guns all melted would become the dishwashers I've already sung, big as car washes used to be, to irrigate our cups and plates and make them fit for bread and tea. Now, this a subject complex is. I don't want just to dismiss as the easiest pie around. Many things a man will drown, and I am not an expert on what nasties bury beneath their lawns, save for lawns on people's faces, hiding up their shames and graces. This I have gone deep to see in cross-sections of humanity. Much is carried there inside, from incarnations, ride on ride, beatings, wars, and tribulations in each language and each nation. But this idea I will supply. In a tribe of moderate size, with people hugging us a lot, and parents quite forbade to swat, our life would be so much improved. We might just not get in the mood to mess things up for someone near, to fry them in our fat of fear. And if we demons had brought with us, this happens quite a bit, there'd be ways, a place provided, wherein we would not be chided, but led and lit and birthed and guided to peel the layers off our bones, fillets of foulest force elided, till the torments have subsided, and we so cleansed can go alone, fresher than we've ever known. Perverts. Supposing all the perverts fled, crawled out from underneath the bed, for all could see what's in their head. They give their sick selves up at last to a place to heal their past, a special place where victims go to tell so loud their tales of woe. And years they might require there, while operations rather rare clean out the silt left in their bones by lives of mashed, disrupted homes, and father's rage and mother's screech, and other combinations bleak. Suppose that it was possible to clean a person whole and full, like washing towels and bedding fine, and hanging them out on the line in sweet spring air to meditate on their sudsed and rinsed estate. Suppose that after decades past, those grungy, shifty, sneaky bastards were finally brought to peace, their sad compulsions all released, origins flushed from their roots, every tangled bit of suit, from every lifetime they have spent as prostitutes to pay the rent, or children with hearts torn and bent, trash bins for the vicious woe their elders often in them throw. Suppose the process of deep cleaning vitalized their cells with meaning, though meaning has no real content, but is just the joy-sent product of being in your form, while life is vivid, strong, and warm in this rich earth's strange accident. And raising then your hands up high, to dance unreasoning with the sky, for reason is too small a thing to saddle those who reach and sing. Suppose intelligence arose from their consciously clean toes, and every particle of work they'd done to eliminate the dirt. Bad dogs. You know how when you go for walks, and dogs about all start to talk, and some are bad. They want to sink fangs deep into your tender pink. They slaver, bark, and won't abate. Eyes are glittering with hate, and your adrenaline goes coursing where your happiness was horsing. I don't think a dog like that is good for either man nor cat. Imagine if your kitty was as big as Fido, Spot, or Buzz. She, too, when in a fractious mood, might scare the daylights out of you. Call the pet psychic in to see what that sad doggie's troubles be. And if you think you won't find one, train some up. They'll find it fun. It might be that the pooch's person is bad, some kind of anti-people cad, and he needs help. But certainly you'll like it if dogs just don't bite thee. Cats. Ooh, what do I just love cats. Their faces seem like something that's inherent in my in-me menage. We kids had 3. Their names were Hodge, Hodgkin, Tanom Kitty Catchorn. This last was a general, Burma born. I carried Tanom's sweet limp form, 2/3 as big as me at 3, all around our house of dreck, with his arms around my neck, or one paw upon my nose, in tolerant long catly pose. whiskers, stripes, tri-cornered nose, slanted eye, and whittled tooth, a cat will stick with his own truth, selfish as the firmest god of selfishness this earth has trod, faithful to his own decree, even when upon your knee. Tannom's patience has no recipe, for I can't dream he did love me. We might all learn some wisdom here. A slight sound will alert his ear. A far cat ripples up his fur. A dog smell turns him to a burr. He's in the moment, living now, and when he purrs so loud, head turned over, legs stretched up, above his head, while thrums erupt, smile gentle on his face, paws curled into parentheses, his liquid spine, his liquid knees. He's lounging flattened in let go, nothing to do, nowhere to go. With purrs his belly shrinks and grows, soft to pet and warm to hold, when you his catly weight enfold. He's bad enough to keep you hopping, misbehaves while you're out shopping, always thinking of himself. Reality check for we, all else, when we think we're civilized, and we smilingly compromise. Just look at kitty nature's voice, yowling that he has no choice but to be in nature's paws right now, right here. No qualifying clause. I have heard a Zen wag said, "To learn the Tao, you can read about the Tao, or better, serve a cat." Each moment cat and master sat. Energies flit over their brow. Purring, settling peace allow. Whatever life this instant bringing, in on mystery comes winging. A difference being that the smiling master watches the wings. Not so cats who pounce on things. Though cats do watch, and masters pounce, sleeping disciples for to trounce. So let's just leave it here at that. To pet the Tao, go pet a cat. Light. Supposing that when someone's light exploded supernova bright, we did not shrivel back in fright, or crucify him, or ignite fire beneath her limbs of light. Suppose instead we bowed our head to make it easier for streams of love to enter through our seams, as nourishing as marrow's bread, as sweet as peaches summer's fed, and thus displace the gnarly face of fables planted in our dreams. Suppose these men and women smart, as brilliant as our own heart, expanded to include the ray of stars from very far away, of nearest whisperings we say to ourself when all alone, down inside our being's home, far, far deeper than we know. Then give we chairs for them to sit upon, so that we can rest nearby, and laugh and breathe and softly cry, and enjoy that bright magic wand given out like orchard pie. Principles. The greatest principle I'll call, there are no principles at all. Just wild space and furlings in, made by forms unformed again, reflections of a greater light, far too blazing for our sight. Ask stars above if they have principles, and if they do, which are invincible, we can keep those for our own selves too. Does that sound adequate to you? Principle is meager stuff, though I give mine with love, a rather rough way to say, I love to dance, I'm free, I'm me, I've half a chance. Saying, bliss is all we are, from a pebble to a star. Saying, what the hell, who knows, no principles where breezes go. So thus unformed I do recede, away from word, away from deed, and give myself to the breeze's thrall. No principles are mine at all. I love the dark days of the moon, the color green, and shade at noon. I love the silence which it hears after noise going on for years. I love a cat with tail held high, looking me right in the eye as he comes towards me to say hi. Rain and cafes. I love the rain on cobblestones, and then to have a cup of tea in a small cafe with thee. How lovely also to sit alone in a cafe and write a poem, while the strangers eating scones energize me unbeknownst. Travel. I love to leave and to arrive, any place where love's alive, and this is nearly everywhere, for love is in our suitcase there. I love to sit with eyes closed slight while I'm conveyed on trains or hide. New places. I have heard a wise man say, we love new places for a day because the mind just stops when it encounters something new to it. And so I love to walk around some unfamiliar small town or on a country road with a view I had never gazed into. Yes, it is a different sensation, though were I in deeper meditation, perhaps my ordinary walks would be revelatory gawks, and I won't slight my own self here. Old walks are new too, this is clear. The North. I love the pull of latitudes with upper Arctic attitudes, lonely, soft with mystery, as we go north into the trees, where fog rolls in from strong grey seas. Long days. Could anything be more ravishing than a soft and long blue evening, with golden edges till 11:30, with light still lifting up the heaven? You can still walk into the hills and come back well before dark fills the countryside for several hours, before again the morning flowers. I love the magic of these gloamings, the slanted light, the cats are roaming. I love how it's safe to walk and fine to sit and gaze about you, isn't it? The north or south at further reaches confer this privilege midst silver beaches and silvered waters, peaceful beaches, or endless moors still gently lit, or gardens with the light still caught in coral roses, mauve iris, leaves of peridot, and pink narcissus self-besought. Long nights. At just past 4, the night it gathers, and serious is life then rather. But I've got books and lamplight, scribbling, a hot bath, walls thick and tight, a brand new heater in my dwelling, a cozy bed, and dinner smelling good as steam escapes the pot, a ceramic slow cooker which helps a lot. I love to find myself alone, with night gone dark around my home, sleet and rain are prowling there, adventure circling my lair, and I am snug and interested in the dreams that books pull round my bed. The moon. All you need is a cool white orb, glowing in complete silence, to make everything else in the world make sense. Mom. I love my mother and how her life transformed itself way more than twice, and all the gifts she gave to me, unbounded love and poetry. My father. My heart goes out in pure pink. I adored him so, and now I think nobody thought that it was right these things be shown. So, out of sight, my love has festered all these years, until I saw with heart-burst tears that I could love whom I do love, and I do love, and feel him near. Swinging in a playground. I'm glad to be 6 when I'm 63, and with joyous upward-looking whee, I swing right back and then right up, swoop free above the buttercups, then swoop back, then push with my feet to take me up the skies to greet, then scan on out over all the land, hills and valleys, a prospect grand, and feel as light as any bird who by a lofty breeze is stirred. Cotton tights. I love to wear, when winter comes, cotton tights. They're hard to come by, but with the plastic kind, static rubs on your behind and clings all electric to your shins, makes you want to take off them. Cotton is the nicest stuff. Neutral charge and smooth, not rough. It holds you gentle, like it cares. Cotton's what I like to wear, for even silk has some slight crackle, like an irritated grackle. Bras. I love a cotton bra so thick, an elbow does not indent it, in a crowd much too close-knit, hurting thus the tender swell. Oh, bra, please do protect me well, and while you are about this task, you'll fill me out more too at last. Jaw clips. Jaw clips do such great small things, affixing hair with pinchy wings, so much superior to bobby pins, which lie too flat as if they're skin. Jaw clips can bestud your hair, all over it and everywhere, making a fine hairdo baroque, like Frenchy-wenchy empire folk, or take a big one, clip up hair, volumes added up to there, or ponytail it like a mare. They're genius-y invention rare, and of course they're best with sparkle, to balance things in life that darkle. Shoes and bags. Men love rockety, sticky-out things, which pulse and move with mighty swings, or eat up miles with a roar, perhaps exploding, or at least explore. Impose their will, make themselves felt, polished, streaking, go-get-em, svelte, going vroom, 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 torpedoing about the room, forceful forward streamlined motion. To these things they'll give devotion, while women love silky, receptive places, where things can slide and hide their faces. Too, they like a propped-up bottom, so all can look but not quite got 'em, which sashays by with dignity, and you cannot touch but only see. High heels accomplish this nicely, as well as making clothes look great, because your legs are long as fate. And of course they're just for special occasions, like big flash rings and raw cakes with raisins. Shopping. I've read scientific studies, how women are wired to prowl and seize and generally to shop with ease. It relaxes a woman's brain, while a poor man it can drive insane. He wants to run in and run right out with just that one small tub of grout. Women are refreshed by seeking on every side the colors peeking, and happier becomes she by the moment as she hunts and tries this and that. Whatever shop she's in, something will hop happily into her sight. So much woos, and she will bite. I have read that in 5000 BC, a scribe scrawled, an archaeologist later came to see, "A woman is always buying something." Don't you kind of hear disgust in this tablet from the dust? I do hope this statement brings credence to our deft wiring, for I would love some new earrings. Maps. I love maps, pretty colored maps, maps of anywhere, of roads of gravel, landscapes venturesome to travel, train tracks, highways, hills and lakes, a campsite where to take a break, a desert dower with rattlesnake, oceans wide to fly above, going homeward to my love. Maps to fold until they tear, maps to scotch tape here and there, maps of small towns, maps of cities, maps of badlands with no pity, maps with elevations ringing, curving lines that rise high, bringing maps of snow and maps of trail, where porcupines with prickly tail scuttle tree-wards as jaybirds hail, and every map with route unraveled I mark with color where I've traveled, one day to put into a book, or just to sometimes have a look. And once upon a wonder time in Barcelona, grim with grime when I was young, oh, just 18, Stranded was I without means, and I made my maps into envelopes, to be for letters a shoe. And people in a coffee shop bought them, and so I could hop onto a ferry to the isle where my friends did stay a while. Charming envelopes they made, marked with lines for my parade, and wow, I even did get paid. Mountains. This earth adores variety. It jumps from Himalaya into sea, and back again from hill to peak, and makes each massif quite unique. What could be nobler than Annapurna, Storm King, Everest, K2, Denali, Mount Hood, Shasta, Haleakala, Matterhorn, Eiger, gazing down in loft patience with snow for crown, muscled, mighty, clear of air, lifting us to sit up there and enjoy such a view. If you've not done so, climb a few. Impassable or scalable, full of hidden niches, and sometimes muggy woods and leeches, and froggy ponds and high escarpments, and the crackle of your chocolate's parchment, and easy slopes and rocky trails, though probably not a nice handrail, and storms to toss you to the gods, with rain and lightning, hail and clods. Any country without such heights is poor indeed. Pity Holland's plight. Raccoons. I love raccoons. Rascals in masks, cute and cat-like at bandity tasks. Grave and pigeon-toed they swipe, treasures which they water-wipe to make them slurp more quickly in. Not to wash, they don't care a pin. Once in meditation I became a raccoon with a raccoon's brain, sitting high up in a tree, ordinary as can be, and this felt like good health to me. Or maybe I feel they've got what I lack as I enhance my eyes with black. Mild indisposition. I love to spend a day in bed, just slightly ill, and so I've pled away from every earthly job, and I just lie and be a slob, and read, and then a nap attack, and get up later for a snack, and lounge so softly all alone, cozy in the walls of home. When my need is to drift light, truth tones rising in day or night from within my body slight, cool air from a window eddies as I dive deep to where watching steadies, or perhaps swirling into not quite sleep, hovering twixt dream and deep. Walking in the dark. Did you ever walk at night when no moon is there for light, on some small untrafficked road where feet are felt, or on a lawn just mowed, dark and curtained, absolute, and all your eyes are in your foot? Did you ever run along a beach with your eyes closed, both and each? Friends watch out for any trouble while you hurtle in dark bubble, feeling scared and fast and free. Place a friend ahead of thee, also to catch the wind anew, wind whose body is called you. It's wonderful to feel those arms cushioning from any harm after free-fall flight ensues. But I can't say, it's up to you. Did you ever cycle dark in the country or the park? Danger? Yes, it's dangerous. If you are young, you might not fuss. You might dare. You might also come to grief as you cycle like a thief, intuiting where there might be a gutter, bumping in the darkness utter, as the weirdness parts like butter. You might crash, you might travel, you might endure, out here where the night is pure. I have done this in the East. I lived, I'm here, nor rock nor beast tipped me from that rutted road. Don't say I made you leave your abode and go wild in the darkness biking, but I say for my own liking, 'twas a thing of gorgeous beauty. 'Twas a finer wine than duty. Bicycles. I love bicycles, unicycles, tricycles. Cosmic wheels go round and round on little pathways on the ground. No cars will have to whiz on by, squashing you just like a fly, but picturesque the ladies ride, hair a-streaming as they fly. Gentlemen in athlete suits, or shorts and shades, or jeans and boots. Anything except bell-bottoms, supposing people still do got 'em. Which I hope, because I love bell-bottoms where the seat fits me like a glove. For clumsy helmets there's no need, no truck to cut you like a weed. If you should chance to tumble down, soft grass would meet you on the ground. Unless, of course, you want to race. Daredevils always have their place. And then a stretch of old freeway will be reserved to use this way. And truckless, car-free, you can zoom as safe as in your living room. Helmeted, in this case, to meet the need of spillage possible at speed. Bicycles are good for us. No stink, no weight, no roar, no fuss of how to park it as with a bus. You'll find, though, preferable for men, a big hole in the seat for gems you do not want to smash too much, like rabbits in a rabbit hutch. Your kundalini should flow free, from tail to head, just like a tree. A bicycle goes like the wind. By this I mean the wind's your friend, a breeze caressing face and ears, reminding you your life's out here, as well as inside shady rooms. Like plants, we can't just live in gloom. Around the village it's such fun, not far, too, the nearest one to visit. You could also run, if that's joy for you, girl or son. And as I've said before, in passing, there are our jet cars with no gassing, which ride above the grassy leas, or even swoop between the trees. Umbrellas. Umbrellas are a thing benign. I'll add them to my list of rhymes, with stationery and riding bikes and mozzie-nets and objects more which need no motor, so don't roar. Benign and helpful daily objects which don't need complicated projects. You must have lists which suit your speed. Jet motorbike might be your creed. My list is quite sedate indeed. Back to umbrellas. They can be rain flowers, colorful as we would like to make them, pointy-topped like veiled pagodas, half-hiding faces. They bob like hats at the bicycle races. They tilt and twirl and stride on down the dimpled streets when rain's in town. In old-time days of corporate sleaze, their handles were ground for Parmesan cheese, and mixed right in, then put in plastic jackets as grated cheese was sold in packets. Up in the mountains, the Brawley's descendants, the paraglider's pendant, above the valley floating, drift, as the updraft gives a lift. Silent, silent do they go, yellow, blue, ooh, what a show! Like in strange paintings all medieval, to be a bird above upheaval. It makes my heart feel glad and soft that people finally lilt aloft as they've always wanted to. Like for flying dreams, the joy goes. And out of body, with buoyed toes, to see a dozen flying people, like flowers falling, steer clear the steeple, then bumping gently to the grass, then up to make another pass. Stationery. I personally like stationery. Yellow as a bright canary, green with jungles painted on, designs like swirling jungle fronds. Anything you like to paint, which will not make the postman faint. Things we mortals like, or saints, fruit, or fleas, or elbows, or knees, or planets far, or under seas, or portraits idle, or cats that sidle, or anything you want to glue that you found which did appeal to you. Or stationery all genteel, with just a rose there at its heel. Then, when you write on the address, the happy person who'll be blessed by the surprise of what you write, sealed within its garment bright. And you add a stamp or two, the thing becomes something quite new. Its artistic balance is amended by this stamping biz, and then the postmark, date and place, a beauty mark upon its face, making sweet the missive neat, arriving worn after its trip, exotic as a heady sip of homemade, tangy, fragrant wine of berries from some foreign clime. And then your loved one can sit back and read the letter in her lap and savor it again that night before she switches out the light, and carry it around next day and feel it, what it has to say. It's like a blossom in the heart, a morning when the sky blush starts, a hug all over, not just part. I hesitate to write of books, for on this one thing I'm firmly hooked, and now I'll have to show to you what I like too much, and you might pooh-pooh. I like them real, not Kindle-faked. I like them actual, like a cake, though cakes I now myself deny, while books are the mango of my eye. And yes, each book has layers in, and icing on its outer chin, and printing dark, like chocolate, or ants gathered to perambulate. And I bestow sweet vibes on them when I see my shelves like hems bordering the stately rows of houses made of cakely prose. I like poetry, biography, confessions shocking, and memoirs free, detective books, though only the best, and lawyer books, and adventures blessed by bringing the author home alive. Some books are really just shuck and jive, but many more are masterly, or funny or satisfyingly bastardly. I clean them when I bring them home, and let them dry all night alone, and put them in the proper place. They must age on shelves like noble cheese, then move to a different shelf to squeeze in with the other books awaiting. I read them not, just hesitating, until they're several months with me, and then they go in my bedside table, to tempt me finely if they're able. A book unaged just feels unripe, and puts me off my appetite. I finally take one before my sight, with reading glasses balanced on my nose, like deer and fawn we're close together in the night for a couple of hours by nice lamplight. I read them fast and read them much, but only at bedtime on planes and such, to keep dreams out of my waking world, except those dreams I write, unfurled, those strong impressions of my seeings I put in books I write like peeings. Yes, books are pretty, fat or lean. I've made them since I was 15. I like their feeling in my hands, of tree shade at rest, though shaped by man. Thank you, O trees, oh thank you, writers. I love to dive amidst you blighters. Strawberries. If you plant 12 scraggy roots of strawberries from a good organic nursery, you'll soon have a carpet 12 feet wide of leafy low bush. It will provide sweet, tasty jewels for one long month in every year. Each berry ripens as you hunt before your eyes, and you'll feel the bounty whilst you pick, wash, hull, freeze, or eat. No need to county. But do beware who seeks your wealth. All night the slugs do munch in stealth, choosing the ripest, darkest fruit, like any burglars bent on loot. And in their universe they must feel the goods are theirs, they do not steal. But if you want to thwart their teeth, at least in part, for even a thief must eat some food, here is a method slightly crude. Just fill a bowl with any beer, and place in the berry bed, there or here, and in the morning 'twill be draped with sluggy drunkards' turdy shapes. And then remove them in their doom, and the compost heap makes a fitting tomb. Meanwhile, let your freezer fill, and your tummy when you will, not with slugs, but berries bright, to give you health and red delight. My peach tree. Long ago I planted 6 ridgy pits from peaches golden, for I'm an optimist. And one came up, and grew so strong, it was a tree with branches long, and myriad tapering waving leaves, up near that lonely house's eaves. Within 3 years, in August hot, the peaches hung, huge polka dots. And when I held one, it filled up my hand, and weighed it down like contraband. But these were mine, and oh so sweet. The taste was truly peach elite, a country nuance, honey warm, the greeny truth of thunderstorms, and perfumes only gods can perform. I had to leave that tree one day. Like August's breast I must betray. I left those peaches on the tree for he who stayed while I flew across the sea. Figs. Oh, big fat figs, ripe purple figs, fat green figs, gushy warm figs, straight off a tree on a road in Crete. Pick a whole bagful to musingly eat, each bite tender and seedy and sweet. So now I'll have to use the T word, treat. There is a reason they've been equated with feminine springs, and I'll bet a beggar likes his as much as do kings. In fact, I even wonder if kings are allowed to eat fruit ripe as a thundercloud. If maybe his advisers would vet his mangoes and serve them to him only tough as old tangos. If his papayas come to him green and hard instead of bruised and squishy and caught off guard. If his kiwis are unripened, his bananas too quite green, to prevent brown spots upsetting his stiff-coiffed queen. Are his pomegranates passive instead of grinning with aplomb? His watermelons pallid and unearthly calm? His apricots still wooden, his peaches unyielding? His nectarines and plums bent on grenady battlefielding? And yet the poorest idiot, like you or like I, can pick a peck of purple figs and munch 'em raw with such a sigh. Canoeing. From the river's tree-edged highway, the world is different, as if on holiday. Gone are cars and other nuisance, and all you see is settled pleasaunce. Backs of houses, under bridges, long stretches where woods camp under ridges. Turtles bask all in a row, Grandpa, Mom, and Baby Joe. A hawk flies over and proudly swings on broad and swooping outcurved wings. Underneath the boat you steer, water ripples strong and clear. The current takes you while you paddle. When you see a branch, try to skedaddle, for it's nice to keep your neck and avoid a guillotined effect. Sometimes you can only duck and keep your head through wit and luck. Stay alert and don't go dreaming, or you'll spin and tip and come up streaming. Please do pack a lunch so nice, and a blanket for resting is my advice, on a sandbar or the shore, when your rowing arms get sore. Wear a hat, bring a thermos of tea, and please do kindly wait for me. Up on the moors. Up on the moors, or the tops as they're called, or the fells, those hilltops bald, rubbed by a glacier long ago, and between deep valleys eaten low by eternal fast-fed streams rain-full, with waterfalls and deep-scooped pools, and running rills and grassy steppes and woods. But if you climb above these dells, on a dozen pathways good, you come to the magic wind-swept fells, with views so far and wide, as if a person easily could just fly, and there abide, within the wind's great airy breathing, for an hour or a day, a month, a year, all seasons through, to test the spirit's play. There is a village here and there, and the Pennine Way for hiking across the lovely island. Nay, it's also for mountain biking. But mostly there is just the sky, with always movement in it, of cloud or breeze or sunlight change upon your face. You're in it. Your spirit leaps and frolics out to dance like a ballerina. A leaping lamb, a lifted heart, you soar and whirl like a hawk in his vast arena. You see no city's smudge or mess, or any highway blighting, just space and light and noble sights, fit for Tor and star and dinosaur, and meteors streaky striping. Green juice. Of all the health food nostrums made, that cost as much as gold brocade, the capsules, pills, and vitamins, tonics, swills, and aspirins, shoot-em-ups and glug-em-downs, and protein powders, seaweed ground, I found one thing that makes them all turn shamed faces to the wall. Just grow some greens in your own yard, or find a friend with kale and Swiss chard, radish greens and lettuce heads, collards, radicchio in raised beds. Then cut and wash in waters 3 with vinegar to dissuade the fleas or worms or mollusks that might be hiding on fat green leaves, dark undersiding. Then tear the lovely bunch of leaves into your blender's big glass sleeve. Add a chunk of ginger, peeled of skin, an apple cored or pear or nectarine, and a jot of apple cider vinegar in, and water filtered of chemical sin. Then whirl on high and watch it spin. Strain the liquid in a sieve over a big bowl, the green beaming at you where you live. Use the grounds for salad or soup curative, give to children if they're plaintive, and ladle juice into tall glasses. Drink, and whoop, all other beverages it outclasses. You'll jump and leap with limbs all merry, and knock down any folks unwary with the force of your wild grin. Take pity and be nice to them. Self-healing. When I lie down and place my hands upon a chakra's restless span, where sadness or confusion weep in layers subterranean, or maybe my knee just hurts again, or someone's overlooked me when I longed for approbation then, I have the chance to fall down deep into my own profusion steep, and in a stillness unlike sleep observe sensations and their grief. When I lie down and place my hands on aching heart, or my tummy's quicksand, or where life's funky fairyland gave over to some reprimand, I have this chance to fall so deep into that stillness far from sleep, and watch the machinations subtle that withinward stream and bubble. I observe without interfering there in those goings-on in below stairs. And by and by, enough is seen that butter posing as margarine gives up the game and shows its gold, and false wrappers take their greasy folds and fly away into the sun to burn there like something unbegun. And then rejoicing fills the limb or heart which was confused and grim. And how accomplished was this feat? Just questions 10 which I repeat, asking again and again, and then trusting all that rises, allegorical, arboreal, archaeological, beatifical, bacteriological, aesthetical, anatomical, alchemical, contradictional, emotional, erotical, ethereal, exceptional, habitual, genealogical, marsupial, mercurial. And I watch, objective from the side, whilst never avoiding what the tide brings up to put into my face. Thus I can then come through with grace. And when I rise, the problems churning have turned to light, and light to learning. Myself. Remember, when a pious person, or even those who helped to worsen their own lives and those of others, remember when each plump-churched mother, businesswoman, priest, well-meaner, sought to make their own souls cleaner by espousing helping others, as if we weren't our own soul brothers, our own lovers, fathers, mothers. In pious supplicants upraised, they their own do-goodness praised. I, too, love to give of self, love an overflow, warm wealth, if it happens naturally, if I've got too much for me, as is often how it is, regarding peculiar things at which I am a whiz. My point here is only, if you don't love yourself when lonely, if you don't keep yourself quite near, giving all that you find dear to your own soft marrow inside bones, if you just give and give and give, who will then help you to live? If you charitably shower, denying your own knowing hour when it's time to just go home, you'll expect others to atone and give you back what you have lost. You'll get angrier than frost and not admit it, not at all, and then we'll have to take a fall so that you wind up in bed and finally get the things you've bled, space and time and quiet ease, as your own self you finally please. Love thyself, it's not a sin, though the churches make that spin. Selfishness is your survival, not reason to loudly cite the Bible. I would like to once for all remove the pain-paled papal pall that self-love is a kind of fall. If you don't love you, then who will? And will you wait, and wait you still? Love is the medicine and the food, the essence, the delicacy, the good, necessary to our life, not a luxury, a knife slicing paper thin-sized portions, subject to our own extortions, rare as French import pâté. Love's the fabric stuff of air, the room we lie in when we dare, the breath we breathe in everywhere. Nobody can it you deny, never mind what holy words they cry. Angels. Who can say about things invisible, like love or other indivisible substances that coat our earth, this radiant pebble, and show its worth? Well, something answers me if I ask about the smallest lowly task, or regarding the largest reckoning. Something lifts our heart to sing in all of our perplexity. Something's near, and something sees, in some dimension interlacing with our own. Something lifts us as we age, inviting us to turn and face our silver selves, give ourselves our powers, then turn and spill our cornucopia of flowers, so that whoever chances by feels golden blessings revivify. And feetless feet are hovering to give the boost to our discovering. Gratefulness. Nights in which I used to worry. You know the way the mind can scurry in fretful thoughts all clamoring to hook you into squandering your precious life force into fear. I found an alternative I revere. I simply say all to myself, I'm grateful for, then add details. I'm grateful for these flannel sheets. I'm grateful I had brown rice, tofu, and pumpkin to eat, for it was good. I'm grateful for those bottles of acrylic paint in the charity shop I could score. I'm grateful for my wonderful clothes that I can play with. I'm grateful I am finally done with figuring my taxes out. That was a bore. I'm grateful there's a good lock on my door. I'm grateful that I had a dance with that dark-lashed man in a moment's romance. I'm grateful that I did those emails. I'm grateful that I'm not in jail. I'm grateful that someone liked my poems at the open mic, though I didn't know him. I'm grateful that I cleaned the fridge. I'm grateful that that pesky hitch I hit in that piece I was fine-tuning, I've sorted out. It was importuning. I'm grateful for the silence now at 3 a.m. in this quiet town, and how it wraps the house all around. I'm grateful that I washed my hair. I'm grateful that my Lou's right there for finding my way to in the night. I'm grateful that things seem all right, at least just now. I'm grateful for. And soon I nod, and perhaps snore, with heart soft and easy as I rest. Worries gone in my flannel nest. Oracle. There are more things I could suggest, but will not. You must request, according to your wants or needs or loves or curiosities. This then activates a pump, and the subject, with a soft jump, will be delivered to us whole, from where these things, like astral moles, hide in light mesh like gold, or voles hide in darkness underground. But these are tucked in space around our ears or eyes or shoulders, or, like owls who swivel heads in holes, on tree trunks hid in bark's echo, in some dimension right next door. From lofty somewhere, then it goes, down into my waiting ear, then down again so very near, to my waiting maw, and opens up my mild jaw, and out will come the words to speak on subjects that we gamely seek. This is fun, and when it comes, I dance a dance in trees' fond shade. I am as leafy as a glade, as sweetly hung with note and word as any spring-besotted bird. I've given you the key to ask, to place your finger on the task. Just a twitch is all it takes. The latch is sprung, the message takes its wingy fervency to air, and landeth light and landeth there, like dust motes tickling a chair. Listen well, as I do here, when I cock that inner ear, listening with all my might, worrying to get it right, waiting too for rumors slight, tugging at the fox's tip of tail, from where he smuggled it behind a tree. Ooh, just the tip, the merest, dearest little bit. I tug a tiny tug like this, unreal the fox it will not miss. Hugging an enlightened person. Close in to the mystery, you're going to get a jolt. We don't know yet what kind. Every jolt's a new adventure, a blast through, away from mind. There might be silence mountain wide, as pink as sunset hush. There might be strange perfumings from an unknown flowery bush. There might be a bird made out of nothing, released from auras too. There might be dug into your roots the sound of honeydew. The gods have taken up their hands and mussed your head of curls, and all your eyes will open wide as silence comes to coincide with heart space, breathing, being, as if the whole sky is agreeing. And such a silence in you grows, you know not whence it hath arose, and all the world you'd seen before has newness to disclose, so freeing. You hug a meager body, but body there is not, just gladness and enormity, and your soul, that astronaut. Not told. There are still things I have not told, for they are seeds still in my night. But if I might posit a bold proposal, though I doubt I'll get it right, inside us each there is a ball, a vast eternal cosmic hall, with chandeliers a dripping light, a dance like none you've ever known, or maybe you have known, when you were alone, some sensate droplet of that bliss, set to set us all a-fizz, big bang shooting on all sides, up from in or from outside. A forgetting of directions it is, We will forget directions then, say I, who do not know enough, not yet forgotten all my stuff. But a dance to dance ourselves to death, so that life's born in a breath, and dancing is our stock in trade, as whirlwinds whirl and rapids braid. A light storm fabulous with this, a forgetting, remembering, therefore. I will not say a thing bit more, save that levels to adore subtly stripe, just floor on floor, behind our inner palace door. Subtlety is delight, the poet said. That is enough. No wordage more escapes my pen to a page well fed. I'll stop instead.